Hello everyone, this is Rakesh Pandey. Welcome again in the new chapter of biology. We have completed our life process chapter, the chapter 1 in biology syllabus, in which we have seen that how our various vital functions takes place inside the body. Okay, we have studied part wise. We have seen how nutrition takes place, how digestive system works, how respiration takes place, in which we have seen how energy is formed inside the body after every respiration. We have seen the functioning of blood, that how blood is transported inside the body so that each and every substances should reach to each and every cell. We have also seen that how the waste, the toxic waste of our body is transported and reaches to the kidney, and after that it is removed by the from the body. Okay, so we have seen one by one part wise, but in this chapter we'll learn that how these systems work together. This is very important. Just imagine if our body is supposed to get oxygen, okay, and the oxygen reaches to the alveoli, right? And at the time, if when blood is not present to carry that oxygen to reach each and every cell, then how that oxygen will go and reaches to the cell, how the energy will get, that will be not possible. Okay, one more example, just take, if whenever we get oxygen, at the same time the heart should pump so that they go to the each and every cell, right? So it's very important for our body, okay, to control the functioning of the cells. Understood? That means if the digestive system is working properly, simultaneously your respiratory system also should give proper response. Okay, at the same time your excretory system, that is the kidney, should filtrate, should filter the blood at ideal rate. Okay, so for the proper functioning of the body, we need a good and controlled system. So in this chapter, we'll see and we'll learn that how our body manages, how our body coordinates the all the different types of system in the body. Okay, so not in the human body, we'll see this how it can be easily coordinated in plants also. Understood? So one by one, we'll start from first. Okay, now in the introduction part, what else is there, that what do you mean by this coordination? Okay, coordination, what? It's a working together, okay, of various organs of an organism in a systematic manner. Systematic manner means what? That if the oxygen is reaches to the alveoli, at the same time the blood reaches to the alveoli to get it, to diffuse it, so that they can take that amount of oxygen or oxygen to the cell, right? This is important. Okay, if any stimulus happens in the body, so that a proper response should be there, right? To produce a proper response to the stimulus, that is called the coordination. Okay, so in animals, in plants, both have different systems of showing responses. So in our body, in animals, we have two systems called the nervous system, which reacts, which responses, and second one is the endocrine system. So with the help of two systems, our body manages to coordinate each and every functioning of the body. So this is important. Fine. In other sense, in plants also this system happens, but in a very limited way. Okay, because the plants don't have so complex system like animals have. Okay, plants don't have so much of functions to perform as animals have. So in plants we don't have many different functions to control the activities of the cell, but in animals we have a specialized nervous system and a specialized endocrine gland system, so that they can control the functioning of the body. Understood? So one by one today we'll start this chapter. Now starting with the control and coordination in plants, how plants coordinates their functioning, right? So plants coordinate their functioning. Okay, to understand this we need to see how plants are exposed to the outer environment. Okay, the first thing you should know that plants do not locomote. Locomote means they do not move from one place to another place. They move at their same place only. Okay, so they should have some different functions, right? So here how the plants works, that they have also a type of stimulus. They also have a type of stimulus like light, gravity, chemicals, water, touch. They respond them. Okay, it's not like that they are not responding to these types of stimulus as we are. Okay, but how they do this? With the help of using the hormones. Okay, only hormones. That means plants don't have any specialized nervous system. Plants have only hormones for their coordination, because plants are not so complex. There is no specialized system in the plants. That's why they don't have a proper nervous system, right? But due to this hormone only, they have some limitations. Okay, that the hormones activity is very slow, okay, as compared to other system whatever in our body it takes place. Okay, so this is how this happens. Okay, so plants respond various stimuli very slowly by growing. Okay, with the help of growing they show these types of responses. Understood? Okay, so let's start with the plant hormones, that how plants manages to get this type of system. Okay, understood? So here we have the control and coordination in plants done by plant hormones, that is called the phytohormones. Okay, and with the help of this hormone only they control all the aspects of growth. Okay, so with the help of this only. Understood? So there are three stages for their growth. Okay, one by one we'll see here. If the plants having cell division, see cell division takes place in our body also. It's not like that the plants respond, yeah, plants only divide their cells. No, in animals also we divide their cells, right? Cell enlargement. Okay, the enlargement means what? Increasing the size of the cell. This is called a cell enlargement. Okay, a cell differentiation means to get the specialization, means at the time of embryogenesis, at the time of embryo all the cells having same location and having a same function, but after the embryo they have to get some information from gene and all, then only they get specialized. That means at the time only the plants used to convert into some specific functions, right? That which plants have to perform which function, means some plants have to get some function like parenchyma function, some like collenchyma, they have to maintain the mechanical support for the plant, so they have to convert into sclerenchyma. Like this they get some specialization. So this is the main three stages for any plant for their growth. Okay, so the what the hormones do, the hormones stimulates these types of functioning. Okay, they enhances the rate of the cell division, they enhances the cell enlargement. So actually the what do you mean by the hormones? The hormones are works like a chemical messengers which is secreted with some specialized cells, and from that cells they passes to place, okay, where they have to perform that task. Understood? So with the help of this, they move to some other part. So some other stages are also there, which is also considered as the functioning or the growth functioning for the plant. So what are they? The first thing is that the promotion of the dormancy. So what do you mean by the dormancy? Dormancy means the inactive stage. So seeds have to go for an inactive state. For example, we go for sleep in night, okay, to get what, to get refreshed in the morning again. That's why plants also have a reset timing, or which is called the inactive state. So that inactive state is called the dormancy. So some hormones helps them to get dormant at the time. So this is called the promotion of dormancy. Understood? After that, the breaking of dormancy. So if you are going to sleep, then you have to wake up also, right, in the morning. So who helps you to wake up? In our body, some also hormones are also there which helps us to wake up. Same as in plants also, some hormones, they break the dormancy of the plant, and this is very important. For example, if any seed is in a dormant stage, so at the time, if the seed is in a dormant stage, so they have to break that dormancy. Otherwise, there will be no germination from the seed. So a hormone acts here as a key which helps them to break this dormancy, to break this inactive state and active again, right? Stomata control. Stomata control means the opening and the closing of stomata. In the last chapter in life process, we have seen how stomata opens and closes. So at the time we have seen the opening and closing of stomata according to the water, that whenever they have to gain water, then the cells gets swelled and the shape gets curved and they just open this, open the stomata, right? But here we will see that how hormones acts and how they control the opening and closing of stomata. Falling of leaves, okay, so falling of leaves to get the new leaves, okay. Every cell or every structure have a particular age. After that age, they have to rupture, they have to get destroyed. Same as plants also have some limited time in which they destroy their structures. After that, a new structure forms. So falling of leaves is there, so in that also hormones involved. Fruit growth, okay, growth of fruit is there. Why it is useful for the protection of their seed, okay, and something, or also that some food contains some stored food for the plants, okay. Ripening of fruit, so that after the ripening of fruits, okay, the leaf stalks or the fruit stalks which due to this the fruit is with the plant gets destroyed, or after that the senescence occurs, okay. Aging in plants, same as if they starts birth, if they get birth, then after some time they have to die, okay. So this is some of the other stages in which plants need hormones for their proper functioning, right? Okay, so one by one we'll see this, that plant hormones, right? So there are 5 types of hormones we'll study, okay. So they are called the phytohormones. Phyto means plant and hormones. So there are 5 types of hormones here. What are they? These are auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins, abscisic acid and ethylene. So these are the some 5 important hormones which controls all the activities of the plant, okay. So we'll see one of the important activities of these plants one by one, okay. Now the first one, let's start with auxin, okay, one of the very important hormone in the plant growth, okay. So it is a growth promoter. We can easily divide these. One more thing, before starting this, the first 3 hormones, okay, auxins, gibberellins, cytokinins are called the growth promoters. Promoters means they enhance the growth system. they enhance the rating of growth, okay, by helping them. And the other two is the abscisic acid and ethylene. These are growth inhibitors. Growth inhibitors means they stop the growth of the plant. Here, the stopping the growth, it means that you are also encouraging the plant to for proper growth. Okay, whenever the leaf falls, it means the you are making them for a new leaf to come, right? Okay, so let's start with the auxin. First thing is that it is a growth promoter. Growth promoter means what? It helps in the growth of the plant. Okay, how it is chemically? It is a indole 3 acetic acid. Okay, we can use this auxin. We have we have some other auxins also, right, which is used as synthetic auxins, which is useful in the tissue culture or in horticulture, right? So chemically it is indole 3 acetic acid. We can also make these hormones chemically in the laboratory. Okay, the main function is cell enlargement. Okay, so they are not helping in the cell division, but they help in the cell enlargement, making the size large, right? Cell differentiation, they helps what? They helps in the cell differentiation process, means getting specialization in the cells, that which cells have to make which cell have to perform which function, so they helps them to get there, right? Auxins also helps in the promotion of the fruit growth. Okay, they helps to improve the quality and the quantity of fruit by enhancing their cell enlargement or cell differentiation process. They also very important for the response to light and gravity. Light and gravity means what? They helps in the phototropism as well as in the geotropism. These are the two plant movement, which is a growth movement of the plant, which makes them for which makes them growth, right? Phototropism means they attracts towards the light. Why they need light? For the photosynthesis. Again, with the help of photosynthesis, they get what? Food, right? After that, auxins made by cells at the tip of the stem and the roots. So the question arises, where the hormones are formed? Hormones are formed on the apical meristem, right? The apical meristem, the tip of the stems and roots. Okay, but one thing also we need to see, that the auxins have a repulsion mechanism with the light and towards gravity, so they move away from light and towards gravity, right? Other thing, that auxins speeds up the growth in the stem, but here this slows down in the roots. What happen here, that auxins works, how they works? Okay, if they helps to increase the root, at the time they are not increasing the shoot. If they are increasing the shoot, at the time they're not increasing the root. Like this, at one time they functions. Okay, so auxins are highly usable hormones for agriculture and horticulture. That's why it's very important for us for the auxin process. Okay, next one is the gibberellins. Okay, how it works? The gibberellins, it is also a plant hormone and a growth promoter, helps in promoting the growth of the plant. They are chemically what? They are gibberellic acid. So hormones are what? They are chemicals only. Okay, a specialized chemical which having the ability to enhance the growth. That's it. These are the chemicals. So these are only gibberellic acid. Okay, so there are two main functions here: cell enlargement again. Okay, but without the help of auxin they do not perform this function, cell enlargement and cell differentiation. They need the assistance of auxins. Okay, now one more important function, that is the gibberellic acid helps in the breaking of the dormancy of seed. For example, for any plant, for any the germination of plant, we need this dormancy of seed. Without breaking this dormancy of seed, plants are not able to germinate wherever they if you give them proper uh, fertilizers or humus. They need these hormones, the final click they need from this hormone. That's why it's very important for the any seed to get this hormone at the right time and in the right quantity. Okay, you have studied in class 9 also that the manure fertilizers they need in a right time, right quantity. Understood? Then only they get the proper growth. Okay, after that we have the cytokinins. So what do you mean by the cytokinins? What are cytokinins? See, with the help of this hormone, it is the chemically kinetin and zeatin. The chemically these are. This is also a growth promoter. With the help of this growth promoter, we can do many things like with the name of kinin. Just remember this kinin. Kinin means kinesis. Kinesis means cell division. So cell division contain two important parts, the karyokinesis and the cytokinesis. Karyokinesis means the division of nucleus, and cytokinesis means the division of cytoplasm. So the word kinesis means division, karyo means the nucleus, and cyto means the cytoplasm. Okay, they also helps in the breaking of dormancy of seeds and buds. After that buds only they converts into flower. They delay the aging of leaves. That's very important. It means that they are increasing the age of the plant by delaying the leaves. Okay, because if they don't, then the other hormones will activate and the leaves starts falling. Okay, they help to promote the opening of stomata. Just opening of stomata. I told you that there is a hormonal control in the opening and closing of stomata. So here cytokinins helps them, okay, in the opening of stomata. I mean, these are the chemicals which having the ability to influence the guard cells which controls the opening and closing of stomata, and also in the fruit growth. So this is about the cytokinin, one of the most important growth promoter. Okay, after that we have abscisic acid. So what do you mean by this abscisic acid? So this is the growth inhibitor. Growth inhibitor means the type of growth in which the plants gets what? They stops the growth. Okay, so to stopping a growth is also very important. Like this, if you, in a car, if you are driving a car, if accelerator is important to enhance the speed, as well as at the same time the brake is also very useful to get stop, otherwise there will be accident. Okay, so other functions, they promotes the dormancy of seeds and buds. See, they promotes the dormancy, opposite of the dormancy, breaking the dormancy. Gibberellins breaking the dormancy, the main function of gibberellin is to break the dormancy, and here the main function of this is to promote the dormancy. Means they are trying to make the plant to go for sleep, so that in morning or in after some time you will come with a new energy. That's why it's very important. Okay, promotes the closing of stomata. The cytokinin helps to opening of stomata, and abscisic acid helps in the closing of stomata. So this is important. Promotes the wilting and falling of leaves. Okay, again they are working against the other hormones, and helps in the detachment of flowers, right? Okay, so the last hormone is the ethylene hormone. Ethylene hormone works where and how they works. So first we need to understand this, how this ethylene works. So ethylene is the only gaseous hormone. Understood? Ethylene is the only gaseous hormone. The formula is C2H4. The formula is C2H4. We can call it ethene also. It is alkene group member. Fine, you will study this in chemistry chapter, carbon and its compound in second term. Okay, it regulates the ripening of fruit, means they helps in the ripening of fruits. After that only they gets detached from the leaves from the tree. Okay, helps in the opening of stomach, opening of flowers. Okay, the flowers have to get open. Okay, before that they were in the form of bud, so they get helps. And after that, the last is the shedding of leaves, means abscission of the leaves. Okay, so these are the 5 important hormones which having the direct influence in the growth of the plant. Okay, if any plant is not getting these types of hormones, so there will be a growth impairment in their plants. So then they have to get some extra hormones from outside. Understood? So in today's class, we have seen that how plants activities are controlled with the help of ethylene. So in next class, we'll go for the next topic, that is called the plant movement. How plant moves, whether it's a growth movement or not. Okay. So till then, just remember these the points I have written point wise the functions of these hormones, and it is also very important for in the exams to write in the point wise. Okay, so till then, goodbye.